Today we're going to look at why the Holy Quran decrees that death is when there is no brainstem function, not when your heart, lungs or other organs stop. To start, let's take a look at something that has been the stuff of nightmares and horror films for decades. It's the story of some poor soul who, for whatever reason, has been declared dead and buried 6 feet under, but they're still alive. Now, if you think this story can only happen in a horror movie, you'd be dead wrong, pun intended. One look at recent stories right from the news proves it. A woman who gave birth 3 months after she was pronounced dead, another who was still alive when she was put into a body bag in the morgue and subsequently froze to death. Why do these horrific cases exist? Because of this alarming fact, there are no universal guidelines for doctors when it comes to declaring a person dead. Yes, you heard that correctly. Even among doctors, the definition of death isn't fully agreed upon. You're dead when a doctor says you're dead. A person can be pronounced dead if their heart stops, but they can also be revived in many cases. People can also be kept alive with machines, even though their brainstem has 0% functionality. In 2013, a study showed that in cases where CPR is used, it should be administered for at least 38 minutes. Because a person can still be revived for that amount of time with no lasting brain injury in many cases. But here's where the difference is, and it's very important. Once the brainstem permanently stops functioning, there's no way of reversing it. No matter what happens, that person's heart will eventually stop beating, even if a ventilator is used. The most important fact to remember about the brain is this: it bestows upon us the one thing that makes us truly human: consciousness. With that fact in mind, the irreversible loss of consciousness can and should be defined as death, and vice versa. Now, here's another fact that might surprise you. When you sleep, your brainstem is inactive, and there are those who argue that sleep is also a loss of consciousness due to the inactivity of the brainstem effector neurons when a person is sleeping. The brainstem also becomes inactive when a person dies, causing a loss of consciousness as well. While they might seem like identical definitions, there's one difference. Loss of consciousness during sleep is reversible, while loss of consciousness due to death is irreversible. And it's for this very specific reason that doctors, when declaring a patient dead, should limit their declaration to the state of the brainstem and nothing else. In effect, as the Holy Quran pointed out 1400 years ago, sleep is like death and death like sleep. Verse 1, it is He, Allah, who takes your souls by night when you are asleep and has knowledge of all that you have done by day. Then He wakes you up again, that a term appointed, your life period, be fulfilled. Then in the end, unto Him will be your return. Then He will inform you what you used to do. Verse 2, Allah, God,